Well, by the way, maybe first thing to cover. So the last recording, it's not uploading my audio for some reason. So I don't know
Okay.
if we're gonna be able to get a video from that one.
Okay.
And then the one before that. So last one we did on Riverside, the one before that was just through Zoom. I
Yep.
haven't gotten around to editing that one yet, just because it literally makes my computer so slow. Like the second I open up the editing app.
Yep.
You also have a MacBook Air?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of sucks. My mom just got the new Pro, like a big one.
Okay.
So maybe when I go home for Christmas, I can try to do a couple then.
Yeah. What app are you using?
So I found one called Hit Film. So I was using iMovie for the first couple, but it wasn't that great, and it was hard to do like an intro and an outro. So with
Yep.
Hit Film, you can kind of like copy paste right into and like keep the same intro and outro
Okay.
and stuff. We'll see.
Yeah, that's brutal. I wonder if you can send me like a link or just whatever. I can try and edit it too and see if it runs smoother on my computer for some reason, or even I can try a different app and go from there.
Yeah. Yeah, could you look up, see what I mean, this is the one I came up with.
Yeah.
You can try downloading it, it's free.
Okay.
Maybe there's some AI one that we can try out actually.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
Cool. Maybe first thing, I wanted to talk about, well, first thing after that, what do you think of my hair right now? Like, what, as soon as you see me, like, what is your first thought?
I don't know.
Like for example, my girlfriend is like little kid hair, like teenager hair, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's my first thought, but like,
Okay.
yes, like I definitely don't feel like, I guess it's just unique. Like I don't see many people with like that hair, period.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Long, yeah, curly. That's just what
Yeah.
I think.
The reason I bring that up is because I think I told you I had a call with the guy through my sales training that's supposed to help me get a job, right? And
Yep.
maybe I mentioned this, but he was like, "I'll get a haircut. Like we want to prepare you to look better, right, on the interview."
That's hilarious.
And he was like, "Yeah, it doesn't matter how good you seem at sales. Like if you look like you're a kid, they're not going to want to hire you." And I was like, like I don't know, that kind of really sucks. Like I don't want to have short hair. I've never really liked it. I was just thinking this in my head.
Yeah.
And so the funny thing is, I actually ended up having an interview through them.
Okay.
I already had my job at OneLead that I
Yeah.
that job, and so I didn't really need it. I wasn't in need of a job. Did I tell you about this interview?
I don't remember. Keep going with it.
Anyway, so I got on the call. Yeah, it was the one that I killed, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah. And he told me, he would have guessed that I was like 20, 25, and I was like, I don't know, maybe that's believable or not. But I was just trying to get your thoughts, see if I should get a haircut or what, because it's been growing out for like 6 months. I haven't cut it in 6 months.
Dang. Wow, I didn't know that. Dude, I don't know. Have you had your hair short like since high school on?
I mean, like going into high school, I had pretty short hair. Like it was
Okay.
still long. It kind of like went to like there, yeah.
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 I just think like I think in general like short hair looks more like professional,
Mhm.
but if you don't think your hair looks good short, then I think it's better to have long hair that looks good than short hair that doesn't look good.
Yeah. One of my girlfriends suggested, oh, just like clip your hair back or something. Like maybe that'll help if you do like a man bun or something. I don't know.
Oh.
I think we might be getting close to the point where I can do that.
Yeah, dude, I definitely think you could.
Yeah.
You should have you tried that before?
No, I actually never have.
Dude, you should try that. I think that would look good.
Okay, we'll try it. I'll send over some pictures and we can.
Okay. Sweet.
Yeah, and the other thing I was wondering, like, how is this quality right now? Because I have this terrible like lamp that's like blinding me, but
Yeah.
I think it makes the picture a lot better.
The picture looks good. Like the lighting looks really good. I don't know
So
what it is, but from yeah, way better with the light.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks really good.
I might start doing this even for calls, other calls.
Yeah, that's a good idea. The one thing is, I think this is probably just like, oh yeah, it says, so when I hover over your photo, it's pretty blurry to start with, but it says actual recording is higher quality.
Oh
Does
yeah.
yours do that for me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I can tell a huge difference with the light versus without the light.
Yeah. All right. Let's start off doing some like podcast brainstorming. Like, do you know we kind of talked about this over Twitter DMs, but like, what do we want to do?
Yeah.
You
Dude,
know, we have like 6 total views on our 3 videos.
Yeah. Which is fine. I feel like, I don't know. The goal of this is not to like.
Yeah, it's.
I don't really care if people see it, but I do think it would be fun. Like, I think that'd be fun. That'd be challenging, and it would like. So I think to like have a successful podcast, we'd have to pick a pretty specific niche, which I think would be really beneficial for us because it would like drive us to become experts in whatever niche that is. So I think it'd be really beneficial for us, and also learn like we're talking about like delivery, and like actually going through planning, like almost like a presentation kind of thing. So that'd be really cool. The bummer is I don't think we can do it with one podcast a week. You know what I mean? Like, I think we'd have to do two podcasts a week, and one of them spend a quarter of it, planning this next podcast.
Yeah, and like you said, like a lot of this is catching up. Like, oh, what's going on in your life? But at the same time, like my thought is, do we really need to do a niche? Like Sam and Sean on My First Million, they talk about literally whatever they want, and people just like it of who they are. So. Those 3 things that Sam mentioned in his tweet about what it takes to have a good podcast. I mean, like, which one do you see as the most fun for you to improve on?
I think delivery for me.
Delivery.
I think that directly applies to like one sales, but also just like I think if you have good delivery, people like you just can get people on your side, like just period.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think delivery. What do you think?
What were the other 2? Content and can you pull it up, because I'm thinking like also delivery would be nice to practice for me as well.
Yeah.
Like that also gives us the freedom to kind of talk about literally, whatever we want, which is cool. It's all about
So Sam said, and it was in this order. I don't know if this matters, but 1, super unique content. In parentheses, he put rare. And then second was amazing/unique delivery. And then 3 was amazing/unique perspective.
Delivery, perspective. Yeah. I mean, at this point, I don't feel like we have a crazy perspective. Like we're just kids.
No.
Maybe that's our perspective. Like, we're just kids who don't know anything. Maybe that could be a beginner perspective.
Yeah.
But,
I was thinking as far as like ideas for like a pod. Like my first idea that popped in my head was, so I used to, over COVID, I got into golf, and I didn't really have any golfing experience before, but like I had full access to like this golf course nearby, and it's like I wanted to learn, like I wanted to get better quicker and like learn what clubs should I buy and like whatever, how to improve my swing like quickly. And there was this YouTube channel called The Average Golfer, and it was amazing because it was just this like 50-year-old dude, like he wasn't insanely good, like, but he played a good amount and like had understood the game and like understood how to teach. And it was so good for me because there's like a million accounts of like these professional golfers or like professional tutors like, using this lingo that like I didn't understand, like playing with clubs that I could never afford, like stuff like that. And so I was thinking with like AI, I feel a bit lost a lot with like either like the videos I watch or even just going through Twitter. Like I don't understand half of what people are talking about. And so I think even if there's not right now, I think there are going to be lots of people like you and me who are going to want to get in like this AI world. And I think we could be like the average AI host or whatever.
Okay, so you want to do kind of like a podcast about AI, yeah?
Yeah, well, it doesn't need to be that, but so that was my initial thought when I was like, oh, what's the niche I could pick? I really like AI, so that'd be fun. And then, how could we make ourselves unique? Oh, like we could be the average AI people. But like what I'm trying to say is, like we can do that with, like you're right. Like I think we just have a unique perspective where we're just, what's the word? Like we're kind of innocent. Like we don't really know, and
we're not biased.
We're just trying to figure it. Yeah, we're unbiased. We're just trying to figure it out as we go on, which is probably who our listeners will be also.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. And when maybe One of the things that I've heard on podcasts that I really like, so Chamath, for example, he went on the Lex Friedman podcast.
Yeah.
Do you listen to it?
No, but I think I've probably heard Sam and Sean talk about it.
Yeah, so he went on there, and Lex had Chamath do this for like 5 or 6 topics. He was like, all right, steelman both sides of the argument for me. And he gave like an equally good argument for both sides, and then it was like, I mean, yeah, right? Like, you can choose to pick which one you want, but there's two sides to it. It's important to know that there's two sides to it. So that's something that we could do, kind of be like unbiased, be like, there are two sides, and this is how it is, and we're not going to give you an opinion. I don't know, maybe we could do our opinion, whatever.
That's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah.
I need to go, what is it? So Chamath on what was it? What was the podcast?
Yeah, Lex Friedman podcast, yeah.
Okay, I need to listen to that.
It's pretty long. Cool. I think it was like 2 or 3 hours, but it's definitely worth it, yeah.
Okay.
Chamath, Biology, if you know him, they have really interesting ways of thinking, and I think if you listen to them enough, then you start to kind of think in that way, and that's like an insane difference. Okay. Yeah. Biology is one of like my favorite people. After listening to him on the My First Million podcast, I mean, like, wow. Go listen to that one as well.
What's the name?
Biology, My First Million. Here, I'll spell it for you. Biology.
Okay.
There you go.
Cool.
Yeah, he's crazy. He's like genius level. That one was that podcast was also long.
What's his background?
Something with some big company. Google, Facebook.
Okay. Yep.
Let's see. What's he known for? He's also he wrote a book. Oh, he was CTO of Coinbase. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Wow. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was general partner at Andreessen Horowitz. So that's pretty big.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, I'll give him a follow on Twitter as well.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, okay. Let's wrap up this like podcast discussion. I mean, I think we should work on delivery. I don't know how to work on delivery. I think like I heard once someone said, just go listen to people who are really good at storytelling, and eventually you'll figure it out just by listening. Yeah. So that could be Malcolm Gladwell. He's famous for being a great storyteller. And I know he has good books, but I think in this case, if we're focusing on delivery through our words, verbal words, then we want to listen to him speak. So I've listened to his podcast. I think they're pretty entertaining. He covers a lot of topics. So maybe we can each watch a couple of those and see what we think. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I think one more thing, like on the delivery piece. I know one thing that I can improve on is like, I think before our podcast, I just kind of like jot down a couple ideas, and half the time when I log into our podcast, I don't even remember like what the ideas I wrote down are. I just open up the Notion mid combo, and like, oh yeah, and it takes me a second to get up to speed. But I think maybe if I like take better notes, or even just like put more thought into it, like just think through like, okay, like what am I going to say? Like, why is this important? And then it's not like this guessing game, like, so I think that's one thing I can do better.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Let's talk about the podcast, The Thoughts of a Restless Mind.
Okay.
First off, what were your thoughts?
It was very interesting. And the thing is, I think he has one other one like this. So, where it's like little sayings, little snippets of sayings. And it's like a book you can just pick up, flip to any page and get some information from. And I actually bought the first one that he recommended. It was
nice.
Unpublished David Ogilvy. So it's like a ton of his, internal memos, whatever, letters to whoever. And I've been kind of reading it like a normal book. It's really interesting. I don't think it's like as cool as he made it seem like, which is kind of weird because I would have thought like this guy knows his stuff. Maybe I'm just missing something and I haven't gotten there yet. Yeah. But I guess my thought is like, I don't feel like I'm getting a ton of value from it because he's going like right from idea to idea, and what you really need is to like pick one idea, read it, and then like think about it all day. And so my thought is like, okay, I should buy this book, but maybe this specific podcast I'll be able to grab a couple of things, but I'm gonna miss most of the forest and only get a couple of trees.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I know. I thought this one was probably uh, the founders podcast, like the biography that I've gotten, least from. One, it was a pretty short podcast, and two, I it feels like the guy's just crazy. Like I think the life that he lived and like his like philosophy just does not apply to mine.
Yeah,
So
that's
I
it.
don't know, like all of it's like, well, most of the guys we listen to, I like really respect and like really admire. Not that I don't with this guy, but it's like I almost want to be those people. But with him, I'm like, I don't really want to be you. So it's tough to take that advice sometimes.
Yeah, and one thing that kind of makes me grateful that we listen to it is like all the time we hear people. I think My First Million just talked about this. Like, you can't retire. Like, you're gonna get depressed when you sell your company. I don't know if you listened to that episode yet, but
Yep.
we talked about it, and it's like, well, yeah, that might be most of the cases, but this guy actually figured out, and he was totally happy. Not interacting
Yep.
with the outside world at all. Like, his passion ended up being to like self-reflect and just write and like work on some meaningless thing.
Yeah, totally. Which is super, super cool. I think that's like what keeps people going is just finding what your passion is. It doesn't have to be work, but I think for a lot of people, like work, period, like doesn't like literally working on anything is like their passion.
Yeah.
I think that gets pretty unhealthy. But yeah, if your passion is to like contribute to society by like mending your own land, like that's amazing. That's amazing. You should go and do that.
Yeah, I actually want to like let's pause and talk about that for a moment. Like everyone talks about finding your passion, and I think it's generally like assumed that it's like some industry. Like your
Yeah.
passion is going to be retail, sports. It's going to be cybersecurity, let's say. But what do you think? And I actually just heard another podcast where someone said this was the case about like your passion is optimization, or your passion is I don't know, just like selling anything. Do you know what I mean? Like, what do you think
Yeah.
about that?
I think so. For me, I've struggled with the passion thing for a while because there's like a stigma that's like you got to find what you're passionate about, and like an example would be like copywriting. Like you got to be passionate about writing. You got to be passionate about journalism or sports or like whatever it is. And I've just never had any like segment like that I'm like, oh yeah, I want to commit the next 3 decades to pursuing this one thing. Like never have I felt like that. But I think for me, I think my passion is, I think it's selling, just period. And not even for somebody else. Like I love like the chase of just trying to make money off of almost like arbitrage opportunities. And I think I've like done that like since I was a kid. Like I've always like bought and sold just anything I could get my hands on. And I think my passion is just finding ways to make money through selling.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I know that sounds a bit strange, but I think it's like I'm very competitive, and I think it's just like the competition, and just like there's always more. Like it's like I want more.
Yeah, I like that though. I mean, it gives you pretty much like endless job opportunities too, right? Like you're not stuck to anything. Like you could go sell for anything. Yeah, I like that. And like for me, for a little bit, I thought my passion might be like optimization. Like figuring out how to get the next 100,000 in revenue for X company, something like that, and just kind of like being a consultant, going from place to place. Then I realized that it's not so much me. Like honestly, at this point, like I feel like my passion might be startups. I fully am expecting that to change, but I just love like learning about startups and learning random things about sales within a startup or marketing with a startup, whatever it is. But at the same time, I also enjoy what I know of sales. And actually, let's kind of go backwards to what we were talking about at the beginning. So, like, I think this might sound really weird, but one of my top passions right now is just questions. Like, asking good questions, coming up with good questions, like, getting answers from questions. And so, one of the things that this makes me think of is, okay, if I love questions so much, maybe my ideal job is to be someone who interviews people. Like maybe it's a podcast, maybe it's a, I don't know, journalist, something on TV. Who knows what it is? What do you think?
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I think if you do love questions and you love talking to people, Like, I think that's totally an avenue you can go down. I think sometimes, one, that world is hard to get into.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's one of those degrees that, like, I think school really helps with. Like, if you go to college for a degree like that, that's amazing. But I think there's plenty of ways to go and like accomplish that yourself. So yeah, like whether it's a podcast or whether you start writing, like we're just writing content, and then you can start, inviting guests or whatever. But yeah, I think that's cool. I think you should explore that more if that's something, you feel like you're really passionate about.
Yeah, I just like asking questions though. Like, I don't want to be a journalist. I just like enjoy talking to people and enjoy asking questions. And I feel like, maybe a lot of people like that, but I don't know. Like, I don't know, like, what jobs can I do with that? Like, podcast host,
Yeah.
Interviews people on stage. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, dude, I don't know. I don't think there's like a ton of professions that leads into, but I think that's an amazing skill to have, just period.
Mm-hmm. By the way, do you have access to my questions document?
I don't think so, no.
Okay, because I've been struggling so hard. So I have a ton of different questions, and I am trying to organize them into, categories so that I can make more sense of them. And I'm struggling so hard to figure out what exactly the questions are that or the categories that I should put them into. Okay, I just shared it with you.
Okay.
So if you take a look, I put the link in the doc also. If you go over to mentor questions,
okay,
kind of see the different categories that I came up with, and so let me know when you pulled them up, and then we can go through it.
Okay, I've got them pulled up.
Okay, cool. So, I mean, maybe your opinion is that some of these shouldn't exist. Maybe you think there's another category that I'm missing, but generally, like, most of these questions that I've came up with and that I've kind of written down are questions geared towards people who are also interested in business or about business or, something tied in to do with startups or business pretty much.
Yep.
So first category is like reflection questions. So this is anything that asks someone to kind of like pause and like think back on their, on something. And is like, okay, this can be either skill specific. So for example, how have you become a good leader or something like that? And then we can also have like actions that someone is doing currently. Like, okay, how do you maintain work-life balance, right? That's category one. Category two is, honestly, I'm not sure if this one should exist. It's kind of like currently, like what makes you you.
Okay.
So for example, like how do you act in the workplace, and like what are your strengths in the workplace? So maybe this one can be merged in with another one. Third one is mentality / frameworks. So how do you stay inspired? How would you think about X, etc.
Yep.
Category 4 is past experience. Okay, how did you get started, etc. Right? Like that one's pretty cool.
Yep.
Fifth is your opinion. So this is a big category, like anything that's asking someone's opinion on something.
Yeah.
And then last one might be like future, like, okay, what are your goals? Like, how far ahead do you think? Etc. What do you think?
Dude, I think this is awesome. I didn't know you had this. This is really cool. I think so current I think is good. I think it's almost more of a question of like character. So that might be like a better row, and to get some more questions on like personality and character, like how do you interact with people kind of thing. Dude, yeah, this is awesome. So have you, when you've been meeting like with mentors, have you like have you pulled this up and like asked questions off this list?
So yes. Until 2 days ago, however, I did not have these categories. So what I was kind of doing, just pulling like random. So I kind of like have this other doc. If you go back to the main questions page, it's like questions that I like. And so it's just, I'll go to there, and like the ones or hardest questions to answer, I'll have some underlined, and those are the ones that are always fun to like get answers to. So yeah, literally, for example, like I've talked to 3 people, and so I have Notion docs. Like I still have one pinned. And I just kind of like paste questions in there, and then it's like,
okay,
I after I jot down their answers, and then I kind of have like a record of, okay, what do we talk about during this call, and it's not recorded, so this is like, the only thing that I had. And then it's useful too, if I ever need to talk to them again, I can go back and have this little document that's like, okay, what did I talk to this person about, and what's changed, etc.
Yeah, dude, this is awesome. I think I said this earlier, like briefly. This is just like a brief thought, but when you were asking like what you could do with questions, I was basically my thought was like, oh, dude, like I think if you can like get into that world, like I think just developing that skill is super important. I think it's important because I think like whether it's an interview or conversation, interview for example, I think like I don't think you get hired based on how you answer questions. I think you really get hired based on like what questions you're asking. So that's one reason why I think questions are really important. But also just like in friendships, relationships, and just like in the the work world, I think asking questions just shows interest and shows you care, especially like very well thought out questions. And I think when you ask those questions, you get people on your side like really quickly, and I think it's like pretty great avenue to like work your way up quickly.
Yeah, yeah. I'll literally get some people who are like, "Oh, like that's a good question," sometimes.
Yeah.
So I agree. It kind of gets you some respect, and it goes back to like what we both read in How to Win Friends and Influence People. Just be interested in someone, and like one way to do that is literally just to ask questions. And
Totally.
the better the question, then the more the person notices it, and is like, okay, like this person really is interested in me if they're asking such like a interesting question, if you know what I mean.
For sure. And I think like when you think about it too is I think a lot of these people, the people that you're talking to probably meet with a lot of people and probably quite a few people who are younger and like looking for mentors kind of thing. Yeah. And so they receive a million questions. And I think if you can ask a question that they've never had, I think that is probably like, I think that probably really catches them off guard.
Yeah. Yeah.
This document's awesome. This is really cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to figure out to filter the rest of those questions into the categories, and then it'll be like nice and clear, and we'll figure it out. And maybe I'll add a category or something. One thing that Oscar said when I kind of asked him this question was, you're missing a lot of categories, such as like life questions, like personal relationship questions. Kind of like these are mostly focused on business, but it's not so much life. It's not like how do you deal with loss? How do you continue doing X if you have like a family member that's passed away or something. Like there's no questions like that, and so that might require a new category, but I mean until I need to ask those questions then maybe
no, totally. I think that's a good point. I like that.
Okay,
all right, you want to pick one? You want to pick a new topic?
Yeah, I want to talk about this because this has kind of been at the top of my mind. So it's pulled towards content or e-commerce, and so over the last 2 months, I feel like I've had this feeling of like slowly I'm getting pulled towards like I think I mentioned this before. Like I want to create content. Like should I create a blog? Like I feel like I could, do something there. Or maybe like when I did TikTok every day, right? Like that was kind of like a little test run. Or maybe e-commerce. We've talked about this one where I can create a supplements brand or do whatever. And before there was kind of other options, but I really feel like these are the ones that are calling to me the most. And I feel like with these, I'm missing a big opportunity if I don't take them. If you know what I mean. So,
yep.
I don't know. What are your like basic thoughts? I can elaborate more, but I feel like I should be doing one of these two, and I feel like I have enough time to work on one of these two. Maybe not 100%, but at least 50%.
Yeah, I think. One, I agree. Like I think you should do it. With the time that you have, like just go all in.
Well, what do you mean like go all in? Because like I just said, I mean I don't have a ton of time to work on this stuff. I only have enough time to put like 50% effort in.
Yeah, so I don't think you only have enough time to put 50% effort in. I think you can put 100% effort in, but it might just be a slower process.
Okay.
So okay. I mean, yeah, like I think if it's something you want to do, like take all that free time and just put it all in this bucket. Like just commit to it, and honestly, like try and eliminate things in your life that maybe like aren't as important. Because to me, I do feel like dude, I feel like if you felt like this for a while, then this should be almost top of the priority list. And also, I think the window is maybe like closing for me too to like go and explore something like this.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I mean by that. But as far as content or e-commerce, I think if you want to do content, like you got to do it now. And I think you're gonna have lots of competition. I think with all this AI stuff, I saw a Twitter post yesterday kind of talking about that. Like with the ability to literally, go to this like chat GPT thing, which is like the first of its kind, really. and be like, hey, like write me a blog post about, I don't know, World War II at a 12th grade reading level. And it's like, dude, like the content it generates is really good. I think that's going to be really hard to compete with. I think you're going to have a lot of people publishing content like fairly soon.
Yeah.
E-commerce, I don't think you're going to have as much. I mean, obviously it's like a pretty saturated thing, but I think like you're in a pretty unique position, like with your job and your experience, your connections. And so I think if you're looking at like a likelihood or probability of success, if that's the goal, then I think e-commerce is probably your route. If experience is your goal, then I think content should be your route, because if you have a good amount of experience in e-commerce, you're going to continue getting more experience in e-commerce. So yeah, if you want more experience, I think, content is probably the one to pursue.
Yeah, interesting. And like Sam Parr said, he still recommends like a blog as a first business, which is pretty interesting, considering they've been around for so long.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to have to think about this one. I don't know. I hadn't thought about the AI thing, so I appreciate you bringing that up. Like,
Yep.
maybe I could actually use AI myself and figure out how to make content with that.
Definitely. I think you should.
Like, what are some examples that you're thinking of? Like, which AI should I be using and what would it do?
I mean, I think there's like, there's Jasper, I think is like probably the number one like copywriting AI piece right now. I think that's amazing. It's paid, so it might be a little bit expensive, but I don't think anything too crazy. But I think this like Chat GPT thing, I think I haven't toyed around with it enough for content kind of stuff, but like I've punched in some pretty like niche questions about like economics, literally for my homework. Like I'll take like a complex question or like a discussion question, input it and see what it pops out. And dude, it's like spot on. It's spot on. And so, I don't feel confident enough to say you could like write full blog posts or whatever, but I feel really confident they could give you some really cool ideas just by asking it some niche questions. So yeah, I think those two to start out with are I think that's a good starting place.
Yeah, by the way, did you see the Twitter post about using Chat GPT or whatever it's called to make like a full workout plan and diet? Did you see this one?
No.
This was crazy. It took him some toying with to figure out exactly like how to get the exact thing that he wanted, right? But this one was great. I wonder if I saved it, because I mean this was amazing.
Okay. I'm seeing this. So I just typed in GPT diet, or is that what I typed in?
It's from Alex Cohen. Yeah, I mean it blew up, but yeah, he explains the process of like literally told him his like, I don't know, body fat or something like that, and then exactly how many calories he needs to do exactly what. Like, it's pretty crazy.
Dude, this is crazy.
It's able to tell him like the exact amount of protein in whatever 0.5 cups of chicken.
Yeah, this is crazy, dude. I think one thing with this like AI world is that I wrote this down. I don't know if you feel like this. The past month, honestly, since my first million started talking about it, like really talking about it more, I've been like, damn it, like now everyone is on this train.
Yeah.
And I felt like no one was on this train. Like no one, whatever, no one was on this train. But now I feel like everybody's on this train.
Yeah.
But last night I was looking up. I was like, how many users does ChatGPT have? Because to me, I feel like everyone and their moms have been using ChatGPT, according to Twitter. Like everyone I follow is talking about it. Everyone, like my Explore page is just full of it. Like all the recommended tweets are full of, like just talking about ChatGPT. So I looked it up. They had 1 million users sign up within the first 5 days.
Damn.
To me, like, I don't feel like that's a lot. I mean, that's a lot of users, but like 1 million people in the world using this technology that...
In the whole world, yeah.
Like in the whole world, that's it. And this is like the hot topic in AI. So to me, that kind of gave me this perspective of like, okay, I think we are still pretty early on in this, and I think there's still tons of opportunity. And I think it just maybe, to me, I don't know if you're the same way, I feel a bit discouraged, or have felt discouraged, because I feel like everyone around the circles that I'm in, talk about AI a lot. And so I think that just kind of shows how early on we really are.
Yeah, I agree. There's some quote about like maybe it's not a quote, but basically when everyone thought, oh, Amazon's already been successful. I mean, this literally happened to my dad where he wanted to buy it and it was like it had like a jump of like $5 and he was like, I'll wait for it to go back down. This was like in, I don't know, before 2010. And he was like, oh, wait till it goes back down to $90 or something like, you know, and it never went back down, you know, it went to the moon, right? So there was a lot of people who thought like that same mentality, like, it's too late to get into Amazon, you know, I don't really know, I don't know, like, it's pretty huge, you know, it's worth billions of dollars, like, doesn't really seem like it's going to do, and boom, you know, so it's like, even when you think you're late, you're not late, like,
yeah, definitely.
For crypto, we're still, like, in the early stages.
Definitely.
If Bitcoin came out in 2010 and you bought it in 2017, like 7 years after, you know, like everyone been talking about it, you still made a killing, right?
Totally.
So I agree with you. I think it's the same struggle that we've talked about before. Like, what can I do in AI? I don't know. You know, based on my skills and what I have access to and my limited resources, I don't know what the best thing to do in AI is. Like, the kid that we're in his Telegram channel, Akshay, he's always talking about like, just learn prompt engineering. So maybe that's one way. You can start by selling skills on Fiverr or something, and money. What do you think?
Yeah, dude, I don't know. I think I'm the same boat as you. Like I have no idea what to do. For me, I think I've kind of accepted that. Like I'm not someone who's going to be able to create some like, you know, like really.
Don't accept it, man. Don't accept it.
Well, no, I think it's fine. I think it's like, I don't code.
Oh, okay.
Period. So like I that's kind of it. Like for a while I've thought, oh, maybe I could figure it out or maybe I can learn whatever. But I've just kind of decided, you know what? Like, no, I'm not going to learn how to code. I don't really have the time. I'm not passionate about that. I don't want to put my time into that. And so what I've kind of thought lately is, okay, I can't create something cool like that, but with all these new things coming out, I think there's going to be lots of ways to just like take these what do you want, like almost apps, take these AI tools and like create a business out of them. So that's kind of been my mentality. Like, I've been kind of like scraping, like reading about these new products and stuff. Is like, okay, like how can I, example like ChatGPT, like how can I take this and like create a website that just uses this, and how can I train it? And then like I don't know what it is, but I think there's plenty of ways to make money.
Yeah. And, you know, I kind of agree with you on the coding part. Like, you know, I started to try to code, and I spent, I don't know, 5-6 hours, and then, you know, other things became more important and whatever. But I think we're going to be able to code using AI pretty soon. And so I honestly don't think, like, I think this is actually, like, the worst time you could learn to code. Like, if there's nothing urgent that says you need to do it right now, just push it off a year, and maybe in that year we're going to be able to figure out, or, you know, someone's going to figure out how to make an application you can code using AI. I totally agree with you on that part, especially about not learning to code. The one thing that I've seen is, like, you have to be careful when you build a business on top of another business. So, like, you build your whole company off of Facebook ads. Like, that's really risky, because when the iOS changed, you know, back 2 years ago, whatever, a year and a half ago, that screwed over so many people. Like, tons of people went out of business because they couldn't track, because ads got more expensive, or they weren't as effective, whatever it was. You know, it's kind of like you're making the assumption that that's always going to be there, and that's not always the case. So you just have to be careful.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's a good insight. Thanks. Dude, okay, that's a really good point. I need to think about that.
But still, at the same time, like, I think that's, I don't know what the best way to build using AI is. I don't know. Like, these people who take, like, whatever AI program and make it into, like, Sean's voice, you know, explain anything in Sean's voice. I don't know how you do that. I don't think it seems too, like, coding intensive, right? Like, it seems like you just tell AI what to do and then it does it. Yeah. But I don't know how to do that. And so I think we need to figure out how to do that.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm sure there's some good YouTube videos out there. I think I told you, I went through one YouTube video. I think I was trying to learn how to run like Dream Booth on top of Stable Diffusion and like create my own like text to image prompts so I could like train images kind of thing. This was like a month ago.
Yep.
And it was way more coding intensive than I thought.
Really?
And yeah, I ended up like crashing my computer. I spent like 4 hours on the phone with Apple support. It was brutal. So that was kind of like okay, I'm done. Like I'm done with like this coding intensive stuff. But yeah, if there's other avenues, like that's great. And I have seen, like scrolling through Twitter, I've seen quite a few new updates on what is it, like no code tools.
Yeah, no code.
So there's definitely a way. I think it's pretty early. So like I don't think you can make like a quality product quite yet. Mm-hmm. Like by using absolutely no code. But I think people in the AI world realize it's like very few people have access to create these apps. So like what's a way we can like provide more access to the world? So I think pretty soon, yeah. I think there'll be some really cool no code tools.
Yeah. I mean, let me just give you a random idea. Like the most useful thing that I can think of that maybe like an easy useful thing that I can think of is like something that does your almost admin tasks in the background. And the thing is, I think there's already a company that exists for this. If it's something in AI that can just like watch my screen and I can say, hey, by the way, every time I create a new Notion page under this heading, like use this template. And just do that. Oh, and I saw something the other day. I think this actually what you sent over, so we can talk about this. Adept maybe, okay. Where it create new like in HubSpot, create a new customer for John and tell how he has 3 kids and his wife is sick in the hospital and make that the notes. And by the way, follow up with him next Thursday, right?
Yeah.
Like to me, that's one of the most useful things that we can do. And I was just thinking, you know, if we're stuck in this place where we see the amount of value, but we have no idea how to capture it, what's the best way to figure that out? I think it's 2 things. One, talk to people who know how to capture the value. And the second is like get a job with someone who's doing that. I think, you know, maybe we're both limited on that. And by the way, I'm making a little note. We can talk about if your job's been going anywhere. But what do you think about like trying to talk to some people who know what they're doing in AI? Yeah,
that'd be pretty cool. I think yes, I think we should. I think my only hesitation, and this is not a good hesitation, but I just feel like I don't know enough to where I feel like I'd feel like an idiot. But yeah, I mean, I would love to talk to people and like I want to learn more. So yes, what do you think?
Yes, I think we should. I'm going to a networking event today, and it's called Hackers and Founders. So it's where I met the people that I work for last time I went 2 months ago, or a month ago, whatever it was. And maybe I can try to find some people who know some AI stuff and ask them today. Honestly, otherwise, because I tried this last time, and it was like some guy who studied AI in school and was like, oh, I haven't really worked in it in a while and like barely really knew the news. Like I knew more about the AI news than he did.
Yeah.
I can try again and see how it goes. We should ask Oscar and Timic as well because I think they'd find this really interesting.
Cool. Now does Oscar code?
Yes.
Right? Okay, yeah. And is he pretty like into that world, like the AI world?
I don't know. You know, I'm not sure. I know they're like I think Timic's more into Web3 and I don't really know where Oscar sits, but we'll talk about it with them and send a message. Cool. Okay, so tell me about the job that you were thinking about taking.
So I took it officially. I quit on Monday. I quit on Monday this week. It went well. Like it went way better than I thought.
Really?
Yeah. I went like they were super understanding, which is I'm just a student worker here. Like I'm not getting paid a ton. I think like the job description they gave me was way different than what I was doing. And I think they knew that. And then also it's like, hey, like I'm going to go work in like software sales when I graduate. And so for my own benefit, like I think it's best I work in software sales right now just to like develop those skills. And they're really understanding. So that was great. But so, I'm going to start. My first day is going to be not this coming Monday, but the following Monday. do some training before Christmas break. So that'll be good. Like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, do some training, head out for Christmas break, and then come back and like start just hit the ground running. So it'll be good. I'm really excited. I guess just like there's not many employees. Like I think I told you. Like I think I'll be in like definitely under employee 10. So I think there's a cool opportunity to like take the skills I learned at Paradox, which was a bit of a more established company with like established processes and like tools that we use. Mm-hmm. And I think I can maybe take some of that knowledge and implement it here. So the other two sales guys who are working here right now are actually, one of them's one of my good friends. And they hired these two guys and they had like zero sales experience whatsoever. And like, I don't even think they really had much of an interest in sales. They just had a connection with the university, needed a couple kids, and hired him. And so those two have gone in, and like all their sales processes right now have been developed by them. And so, which is really cool. But I think there's an opportunity for me, because I've like been in that world before, to come in and hopefully make them better. So I'm really excited. I think it'll be really cool.
Yeah, do some sales development stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It'll be cool too. I think like, I think it's a bit of a different dynamic than the group that you're talking about, where you're all in a room and it's like spitting off decisions. Like to me, that sounds really cool. Mm-hmm. I don't think this will be quite like that, but I think I told you we're working. The office is like literally like attached to the founder's house. It's just like almost like a casita kind of thing. And the founder's really cool. I think he has like the highest revenue of like any commercial real estate person in like Arizona ever. And so like he's like top dog in commercial real estate, now has this cool product in commercial real estate, and I think has some really cool connections. Which, to be honest, I'm kind of interested in commercial real estate. So I'm just excited to learn. It'll be good.
Yeah. This is the thing where like it cold calls for you, and then you just like work until someone answers, and then it like pops up on your screen or something like that. That's
what I understand. So I've never used anything like this. I honestly didn't even know this was a thing, and I don't quite understand. Like, so yeah, that's what my friend said. Like my buddy, he works like just from his dorm room. Like he calls from his dorm room. Okay. And I was like, dang, does that get boring? Like just dialing. And he was like, actually no. He's like, I usually just work on homework while I dial. And I was like, dude, how do you do that? And he's like, yeah, we just have a robo dialer is what he called it. And it just rings and rings and rings. When someone picks up, populates their information, and you just got to go. So I think personally, I don't think that's like the best way to approach like sales.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be really good, and I think it'll be great practice. Like to have no information on the person and then have to like internalize that on the spot and like spit out almost like a pitch based on like what you read. I think that'd be really beneficial.
Yeah, that's crazy. I'm excited to see like, I think you can provide some good value for this company, and then I'm excited to see what you learn also.
Yeah, I think so too. I think my goal is like, obviously I want to make some sales, like that's great. But what I really like to do is just like establish some more processes, and hopefully set their sales team up for success for maybe the next year. Like that's kind of my thought is, I think I have enough experience to do that, and hopefully leave some clear processes for the next person that comes in.
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit about this book. So I've read about half now, actually.
Okay.
It's pretty good. I think the biggest takeaway that I've had so far is this was written by the guy who created the guy who like led sales at Salesforce.com, right? Like,
wow. Okay.
Theoretically, like someone who knows a lot. And he actually didn't know very much about sales going in, and so that let him kind of do some things that would like be a little bit weird if you really understood sales. But it worked. It worked for him. And he then implemented it in a ton of other companies, like as a consultant, and it went really well for them. And so the biggest takeaway that he said is cold calling 2.0. So cold calling 2.0 is actually not cold calling at all. It's cold emailing.
Wow. Okay.
So he kind of goes. He gives you like pretty like step by step about why. Well, first he explains why you want to be emailing instead of calling, and then the second thing is how to make those emails, and then you literally just like bulk send out like 100 emails a day and expect that you get 10% response to whatever, 5 to 10 emails the next day. And then you follow with those, and then you set, I don't know, 3 meetings out of those. And then of those, you qualify one and you send, so that's a total of 5 people that you're sending over to your closer every week. Which, like, the things he says are pretty interesting. Let me, see if I can find something interesting. But what are your thoughts?
So my initial thoughts are, it's funny because I feel like I've kind of been drilled into believing the opposite, that hey, a lot of people think cold calling is dead. Cold calling is not dead, and that's what we're going to focus on. So that was the focus at Paradox. There's been a couple books that I've read that have been recommended by my boss that also very much push that agenda. But I do think that I think cold email is one, way more. I think it's much easier to find good prospects over email than phone numbers. And I think two, I think you get more genuine interest. And what I mean by that is, I think when you're cold calling, I think you get a lot of guilty yeses, or people who just can't say no over the phone, or you just push too far. People are okay, yeah, I'll take a meeting. Fine, I'll take a meeting. But over email, it's what's that?
It's like a waste. They're never actually going to buy your product. Is that what you're saying?
Definitely. It's a false yes. It's a false yes. Yeah. I think over email, you do not you don't get false yeses. You can ignore an email and not feel guilty, at all. If you respond to an email, you're interested. So, I definitely agree to some extent.
Mm-hmm.
It's by Aaron Ross, right?
Yes, Aaron Ross. Yeah. I mean,
does he give?
Go ahead.
Does he give any perspective on their outreach, as in first email? What does that look like? Okay, perfect. What does the second email look like? What does the third email look like? What's the string of events?
So he didn't give email templates because he was look, if enough people read this book, and everyone uses the email template, it's never going to work anymore. And then what's the point of giving an email template? So he didn't give that. He did give pretty step by step on what to include in your emails. I'm trying to see if I can flip through and find something useful. But basically the idea is you have people who their only job is outbound. So they don't take any inbound. You separate the inbound from the outbound.
Yeah.
And I think that was a big thing too. If you have the space to do that, I mean, it just no one really likes outbound. And so, but if you make it their only job to do outbound, you can give them some good incentives, and you can also it boosts their morale, and they're going to perform better. He found when you divide them. He said he figured out this. He had 2 separate departments in sales, and then he tried to merge them together and decrease revenue by 30% or something, and they went back to normal. So
that's crazy
stuff like that. Yeah. The other thing is, he says when you're cold emailing, do only have one CTA. And he suggests either 1, get on a call, or 2, ask for a reference to the correct person. And he said that one's a lot easier to get a response to. And so he says work bottom to top. So
for sure,
random person first. In a marketing product, email some random marketing person before you email the CMO.
Yeah.
I mean, he gives you here's a guideline for writing your own email. It's it needs to be text-based, not fancy newsletter kind of feeling.
Okay.
State it clear and simple while you're there. Make it easy to read on a mobile phone, so short and easy to read. Offering credibility is always good. So he says one of the best ways is to show proof that someone else was happy or something like that. Mm-hmm. And then just ask one simple question at the end.
Wow. Dude, this is funny because I feel like Paradox's sales ideas are literally exactly that. One, our inbound and outbound are completely separate. And 2, those email tips you just gave are the exact tips that we're given. Short, simple, we literally have a thing on our outreach, email outreach, where it shows what the email looks like on a mobile phone. So we can tell whether it's right or not. And then I think the bottom up thing is super effective, because I think 1, asking someone for another contact is that person is yes, I don't want to deal with this here. Yeah, like email my boss. Like I don't care. Like I don't want to deal with this. So I think it's really easy to get that contact. And then two, once you have that contact, like the boss's contact, like don't forget about that first person you reached out to. Like that is a huge, like that's a huge asset. Like hey, Jenna connected me with you. Like use them like in that email, and that builds credibility immediately. It's like, oh well, who are these people? They already talked to Jenna, right? So yeah, yep.
I was wondering if you had any thoughts on modifying that towards LinkedIn messaging and LinkedIn outreach.
Ooh, yeah, I've tried LinkedIn outreach. I've had some success. Like I think I had a few meetings set off of there. I think it's worse than cold calling and like the guilt trip. Like when you message someone and like follow them, like comment on their posts, like that's what I would do. I would like people's posts, like comment like, oh, this is amazing. And so I think when I would message them, it's like you can see when they read it and they know that they're always on LinkedIn, like people like recruiters. And so I think there's a guilt trip to where they feel like they have to respond. And so the few meetings I set, like were not successful. Like it never turned into a sale. So, that's only a few meetings. So, maybe it was just those few. But I do think it's something that, like, if you're in sales, like, I think you should for sure try. Like, I think you should try any avenue you can think of. Like, it certainly wouldn't hurt. And maybe even if you're not messaging, I think like connecting with them and maybe liking a post here and there, like just familiarizing your name. That way, when you email them, they're like, "Oh, Camden Cross, like, who? I've seen that name before. Like, who is that?"
Yeah,
I think that can be beneficial.
That's an interesting thought. I like that one. So, just follow on LinkedIn. Don't try to sell them anything, and then maybe email them later.
Yep.
Yeah. You use Apollo IO, right?
Apollo?
Yeah, like lead sourcing.
No.
What do you use?
We use Zoom Info. Is that what you're talking about?
No.
Yeah, Zoom Info.
Anyways, on Apollo, you can see their LinkedIn and you can get their email, I think. And so.
Oh, cool.
It's like you could theoretically build a list and then do LinkedIn and then do the email.
Actually, yes. We use LinkedIn Sales Navigator and Zoom Info. Those are the two.
Okay. And when you would message people on LinkedIn, was it the same copy from the email?
No, but it was pretty similar. It was definitely way shorter, way shorter messages. Let me see if I'll look for it after this call. But I had like a template that I would send out. So like I had like first message is this, second message is this, third message is this. They're pretty short. Okay. Because the cool thing about like LinkedIn, it's like I had on my profile like a lot of, which you should do this too. I had like a lot of information about Paradox. Like I probably had like a post about Paradox. My banner was Paradox. Like had some information about the company, and then like my description was just about Paradox. Like it wasn't even about me. And so when you message somebody, give them a little bit of info. Like try and just like catch their attention to get them intrigued. Hope they click on my profile and learn more.
Got it. Yeah, I'm reaching out as like one of the founders, so I think it's slightly different. But
yeah, it's definitely different.
Yeah, I would appreciate if you could look out for the for those messages. Maybe those would be useful.
I'll look for it right now.
Easier to do, so you can look later if you want.
Okay.
So business ideas I saw while traveling.
Okay.
Do you see this document?
Yes.
Okay, so open it up.
Okay.
All right, just go to the first picture and click on it, yeah?
Okay.
Okay, so what do you see?
Gluten-free chicken sandwich.
Yeah, and how much does it cost?
$6.10.
Is it a big sandwich?
No.
So, in my opinion, that's a ripoff. Like $6.
Yeah, that's a ripoff.
A little sandwich, right?
Yeah.
So my first observation was there was tons of these all over when I was traveling. Go to the second picture, and tell me what you see on this one.
Organic blueberry muffin.
Okay, so you can't see, but it says gluten-free.
Okay.
And I don't know if you can zoom in on this actual muffin. It does not look like a muffin at all. It looks like
It doesn't
some
look good.
sort of weird bread that was compressed. Like, I don't even know, honestly, what was going on with that.
Yep.
For two muffins, it was $6 also,
Dang.
which is insane. They were small muffin, relatively small muffins too. So
Yeah.
first thing is, if you have a product that caters to a specific niche of people, those people also need it while they're traveling. And so if you can put it in an airport or in a gas station in a place where they're going to be traveling to, you can basically charge whatever you want, and those people will pay it. Like, I've noticed that. People with gluten-free issues, they'll pay pretty much like whatever you ask for I don't know, gluten-free crust on a pizza or whatever it is, right?
Yep.
So I think that's honestly an underserved like part of people. Like, I think your profit margins are going to be probably like 3x higher than your normal profit margins would be on any random food. And you can literally be like a monopoly for a short amount of time, or I don't know, buy your competitors and you'll be a monopoly for a while. But
Totally.
and these are not good products. I
You
agree.
agree.
Make a good product and you put it in somewhere where these people need it. Like, I think you can make a killing. I think you really could.
Dude, that is money. I 100% agree. That's, yep. And I love, like, specifically, like, traveling. Like, places where people frequently stop, like, wherever that is. And, gas stations, airports, wherever. Dude, that's money.
Yeah, okay, go to the third picture.
Okay.
So what you see here is a little, like, gift basket when we got to our Airbnb in Milan. Do you have any like, first thoughts when you first see this?
No. I mean, it looks nice. Like, that's just for you guys. I think that's a nice gift basket.
Yeah, like, it's huge. Like, it's covered by some of these stuff, but it's huge. Like, I think they kind of replenish it and it just stays there. So we didn't need all of this. I think they just fill it back up for the next person.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, this was like a real life example of the give and then you will receive principle. I don't know what book this was in, or Alex Hormozy talks about it. I know he's like, if you want to receive, you have to give first. If you want to receive, you have to give. So also, it was in the what is it? Persuasion, the psychology of influence, the psychology of persuasion. I listened to the audiobook on that one, and this was like straight out of that book. Like, it's literally like when you give someone something, they're more likely to give you whatever you want in return. So like, give someone, then ask for something, and it like increases your rates dramatically. So it was super cool, like unexpected. They even left like a bottle of wine in the fridge.
Dang.
So yeah, and this was like a relatively cheap Airbnb too. So that's why
what did you pay this Airbnb?
Maybe like $300 for 4 nights or something like that.
Wow. Dude, yeah, that's really nice. Wow.
Anyways, yeah, so obviously we left like a glowing review, right?
Yeah, totally.
So that was killer. I thought that was so cool to see like the psychology in action. Okay, the next one, you see a Pokeball, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah, Pokeball. So during this trip, me and my girlfriend kind of got into writing reviews on Google Maps. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like kind of dumb. Like, there's no real reward to it, but at the same time, like you get to see how many views your reviews have. So it's kind of rewarding. Anyways, my first thought is Google Maps should be doing something way better to get people to review these restaurants. Like, it's not that great of an experience to like review them. It's like you have to go find it, you have to go click it, you have to like, I don't know, click all these random things, like figure it out. And first, like, they should be hugely incentivized to make people review them, because then it's like becomes like a little game. I think you can actually review from it. And they have a huge team over at Google. Like, they should for sure have a way. I think if I spent 2 hours, I could come up with something to improve.
For sure.
So, anyways, that was my first thought. The second thing is, this could be like an agency. Like, hire me, and I will optimize your business for reviews. Because I think like literally everyone who's going, let's say 75% of people who are traveling or looking at Google Maps or Yelp or TripAdvisor to find somewhere to eat, right? Because they don't want to get scammed by high prices. They don't want to go somewhere that's bad. Like, they care about the kind of food they have. So honestly, I would say more than 75%. So what are they going to look at? The reviews. What do the reviews say? If it's some place that has 4.6 stars versus somewhere that has 3.8 stars, I mean, that's an easy choice, right?
Yep,
Relatively
for sure.
And I think the amount of businesses that like completely ignore this is ridiculous. And also, there's businesses who write like angry reviews or angry responses to customers' reviews, and it's like, dude, you're some I don't know, some dish boy is writing this review, and it's like future income. So I think this is like kind of like social media for business. If you know what I mean, like people need to clean this up. And you can like hire someone to figure out how to like optimize all these things. Like contact each person who makes a bad review and like offer them a free dish, and boom, you know, move up their stars. Like easy money. I think,
dude,
honestly, you don't need to know anything about this. If you literally just go in and sell it to someone, I think you can figure it out after you sell it.
Yeah, I think so too. Okay, a few thoughts. One, this is awesome. Like, dude, this is a really good idea, and like, you could do this, like 100%.
Yeah.
Like, I've never heard of. I'm sure there's agencies out there that do this, but I've never heard of it, and clearly, like, the market is wide open because I see the same problem, and I've thought of the same problem before, but I've never thought of it from a business side. So I love that you thought of it from a business side. Okay, one, what's an offer that you can give? Like, hypothetically, you learn about it, you want to pursue this, great. You're gonna go to restaurants, businesses. What's an offer, like what Alex Hermosi says? What's an offer you can give them that they can't refuse? Like, start thinking of some like incentives. It's like, I don't think this is a good incentive, but just for example, like, okay, if your revenue increases by X amount, like I want, 20% of whatever that is for the next year. Like, I think that's pretty reasonable. Start thinking through like, what are some offers that people just can't refuse? It's like, oh, that's a no-brainer. Yeah, we'd love to have you come optimize this.
I really like this one, and this kind of goes into another one that I had, this last one, where it's improve the menu plus the online QR code. I swear I've heard this idea before, where it's like,
yes, I think it was MFM.
What?
Maybe? I think it was My First Million. I think they talked about the menu thing.
Yeah, and I had like a graphic design teacher who literally like did this for someone.
Yep. Who did you have?
Some random teacher in high school. I don't know.
Okay.
But it's literally this idea of like restaurant menus tend to suck. Like, go improve them, and you can probably improve their conversion online. Whatever, you can track that pretty easily through online orders, or make an online QR code. And specifically when you're traveling, like, it really sucks to like open up the menu and see everything in another language, and then you have to figure out, you have to take screenshots and put it in translator, whatever. Like, you need to have something where it's really easy for people to just like click the language and not try to guess which word translates to the word menu on your site. You know, you need like, easy peasy, put it on Google Maps. Again, this ties in, like, make your reviews better, make it easier for people to look at your site, to figure out what's on your menu. I mean, it's so difficult to figure out what people have on the menu and how much it costs. Like, my method has been go to photos, scroll until you find one that says menu, click on it, zoom in, hope that it's in the language, hope that you can actually read it, hope that it has the prices, hope that these are not outdated, right? Like, I think there's just so much optimization that can be made on Google Maps and Yelp, or online menus, online QR codes. And then, if you want, like, include, like, improving your actual menu. And I don't know, I think you could probably, honestly, at this point, like, Google how to have a better menu, or literally just look at, like, places that are really successful and figure out, okay, these are the differences, this is what we should change, blah, blah, blah. And over time, you'll learn better, and you can charge more over time. Like, simple, honestly, in my head. Like, it's simple.
Dude, this is a very simple business idea, but it's probably one of the best ideas that I think I've heard. Like, I think it's super straightforward. I think you can make a ton of money. And I think that, dude, like, yes, like, now that we're talking about it, there are so many, like, fundamental flaws with, like, I'm more thinking restaurants, like restaurants in general. Like, dude, like, you're right. Like menu, like online ordering, like how do you push that? Yelp reviews, like languages when it comes to like online menus. Like there's so much optimization that needs to be done. That yeah, I think this is something that could, if you have a business that does all of the above, like, dude, I think it's a no-brainer for restaurants, and I think there's a massive market for it. So yeah, let's revisit this one. This is money. This is money.
Honestly, like I would love to do this. Like genuinely, I would.
Okay.
I would, like what? Let's
Dude,
do it.
I would too. I would love to do this. This is a great, like, this is real. I think that'd be fun too. Like this kind of goes in maybe the side you've talked about this before, but like the optimization side. But you're not like consulting. Like, well, I mean, you are, but it's your business. Like, I think it's much more meaningful when it's your own thing rather than, working for somebody.
Right. No. Yeah. I think we should try to see if we can get this going. And the other thing is, we have to sell the businesses on paying us for that. So
yeah.
Boom. Use your sales skills, improve your sales skills, whatever you want.
Totally.
Okay, do you have more time? We just have a couple more.
Fly through them. Like, okay, I start work in 30 minutes and I got a shower.
Okay, so on the fifth picture you see here, there's all these little like signs that are put up at historical places. I think it's probably hard to find someone that makes these for you. I think you can make a business out of finding places that are opening soon or that need replacements and just say, hey, I'll handle everything for you. Set up, I'll take it down. Here's how often you need to replace it. This is going to be the exact cost. Boom, done.
Cool.
Yep. These next three, I think, were really cool. So on the second row, the first three, drawing people in. It's not the first one, not the Ludovico Einaudi, but the one with the Christmas. Okay. Like, if you put something that people want to take a picture next to, right next to your store, I think you're instantly bringing in more people. Easy retail trick. And then this one was really funny to me. If you look at the one in the middle on the bottom, it says souvenir free entry. Like, that is hilarious to me. That someone is like, this is a souvenir shop. By the way, you get to come in free. We're actually not going to... Yeah,
that's amazing.
Like, I know you're not going to charge me, but this is one of those principles where it's like, when someone sees something free, they want to go get it, right?
Yes.
Yep. And then my favorite one, aside from the menu idea, is this little snow globe. So I don't know if you can tell, this is Yankee Candle. This is at a shopping mall, like in the food court. They have
cool.
You can go inside and you can like throw little, I don't know, papers and make it look like you're inside of a snow globe. I think this is a genius idea. You get the kids to come in here. You have customers for life. Like if you have this as a yearly tradition, imagine the kid comes 3 times. In 10 years later, he's looking for a candle. Which candle is he going to remember? You bet yourself that he's going to be buying Yankee Candle, right?
Dude, yep.
I think you could apply this to so many businesses.
Dude, yes. Yeah. And okay, I want to add on to that. Yeah. Not only that, like, yeah, that's actually a great perspective. Like, I didn't think about that. Like getting in the heads of the like next generation.
Yeah.
Brilliant. 2, like, it's not even like a long-term investment. It's like, it's also, there's current payoffs. Like, think about all the Instagram photos that are going up of like the moms posting photos of their kids in there, or the family photos that are going to be in there, whatever. Dude, Yankee Candle logo, and it's clearly Yankee Candle is in all of those photos. And like, dude, marketing is expensive. And this is free marketing. Just put a snow globe in the ball.
Dude, I mean, literally do this for anything. Like, have a giant chocolate statue that kids can like climb inside. Whatever.
Yes.
Yes. This is actually, I think you can apply this to so many businesses.
Hey, give and it'll come back. Give and it'll come back again.
Exactly.
Dude, that's cool. All right, dude. Hey, the restaurant thing. Seriously, I want to look more into that. So this week, I'll message you. But yeah, let's do some research on that.
All right. You said you're going.
Dude. Yeah, today's my last day.
Oh, today's your last day. All right, cool.
Today's the last day. Yep. All right. Thanks, dude. Later.
See ya.